Good evening, all. I'd like to call this special session meeting to order at 5:34. Ms. Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call vote to ascertain a quorum? You're muted.
Patrick Molina,
Here.
Heather Anderson,
Here.
Bill Brown. Bill,
We see you, we can't hear you.
Here.
There he is. There he
There
is.
we go.
and Dottie McKinney here.
All right, we have a quorum. Thank you so much. And let's recite our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I had the
Okay.
flag ready today, Mr. Molina. We have nobody in attendees, so no public
We have
comment.
nobody in attendees, so our public comment section is open and closed. I would like to move to approve this evening's agenda. A second, please.
Oh, do you want to remove the minutes though?
Oh, yes. Well, no, go ahead. I'll take a second and then we'll remove it in the discussion.
I'll second.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right, Bill seconded. So I'd like to make one change to this evening's agenda because our minute meetings from our last meeting are still in the cooking stage. We need a little bit more information, so they're not quite ready. So I would like to, when we go to vote, to vote on removing item number 4, which is the approval of meeting minutes from our most current meeting or recent meeting, and we'll move that to our next regularly scheduled meeting. So that would be, so that'll be what we're voting on. Otherwise, the rest of the agenda is legal services, our closed session, which we may not need to leave this one to go to, the follow-up on the budget shortfall, and then the landscaping requirements for masthead, which Mr. Colander will bring us up to speed on, board comments and adjournment. Any other changes you'd like to suggest to our agenda? Very good. Ms. Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call vote to approve this evening's agenda with removing item number 4, which is the approval of the meeting minutes from October 14th, which we will take care of at our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Yes, sir. Chair Patrick Molina.
Aye.
Vice Chair Heather Anderson.
Aye.
Member Bill Brown.
Aye.
And Secretary Dottie McKinney. Aye.
Very good. I hope everyone had an opportunity. Thank you. I hope everyone had an opportunity to look at our main section for the evening, which begins with our RFP for legal services. As all of you know, we did go out and post a request for proposal for legal services as we anticipate our legal services this year to exceed $60,000 overall. And procurement law requires that if that's the case, we have to put it out for bid. I believe we did put it out for bid, and I will hand this over to either Jake or Karen to give us the update on that, and then a little question answer, and then we'll go right into a motion.
Jake, you want me to do it or you want to do that?
It doesn't matter to me. I can say that it definitely was a hotly contested field of applicants that took us. No, I'm kidding. There's probably a better way to present this other than the fact that the application we received, I think, was thorough and well done. And the group of us got together utilizing the rubric that we published, scored it accordingly, and can move forward with making a recommendation based on that and the sole applicant via the RFP process. I don't know, Karen, I don't know how much detail one is supposed to go through with this.
I don't think we need more detail except that there was only one, like you said, one offerer, but we do find them to be highly qualified and have evaluated them accordingly as required, and do bring Patty Matthews LLC forward as a recommendation from the committee.
My only clarification would be that we did indeed put this RFP out to the public. We followed all of the procurement rules so that if anybody in the future want to say you didn't give us a chance, we can show in documentation that yes, indeed, we followed all of the proper procurement rules, RFP requirements, and we proceeded with the one bid that we got. The
Yes,
reason I
sir.
said is because it does kind of look like a single source, which it is not. And I want to make that
Nope.
very clear to anybody in the future that this was not a single source procurement. Dottie, any
Correct.
thoughts with regards to that?
Pardon?
Any thoughts with regards to anything I just said with regards to the RFP process and that it sort of looks like a sole source activity, but indeed it is not a sole source activity?
Correct. If there was a legal advertisement, a date to receive and open proposals, evaluate them, score them, and make recommendation for award. And since only one proposal was received, the administration did go through all the proper procedures as stated by Jake and Karen.
So
Perfect.
it was published on both the school website and in the paper as required.
There you go.
Excellent. Outstanding. So now that that is on the record at a board meeting, I think we can all move forward. Any questions with regards to the process or anything before I put a vote up?
What is the score based on? How do they derive the scores? Who are
Oh,
the scorers?
sure. So the scorers are the people who signed that document. So it was was
Okay.
it? It
Yeah, I
was
see five. I
Alicia,
see five people. Okay.
Lisa, Jake, Brittany, and I.
Hmm.
And I can share maybe bring it up. The RFP is pretty lengthy, but I'm happy to show you that and show you the scoring pieces. Let me just pull that up. I didn't realize the RFP hadn't been shared with the board, so let me just grab that. RFP.
Sorry, I'm
Um,
delaying the inevitable. I'm sorry.
Oh,
oh
no,
no,
it's good.
good
This is
questions
great.
though.
Yeah, this is Dottie and I know what all that looks like. So this was
Okay,
our lives
so
for quite a while. So go for it.
this is the RFP that was posted. It's quite lengthy. You can see we followed a template with all the legalese requirements, but one of the requirements, of course, is how you're going to, in addition to what they have to submit and when and how they can submit questions, there is a section on how they're going to be evaluated. So I'm going to just zoom down to that, but I'm happy to share this whole document with you. Don't watch for a minute while I make you seasick here a little bit, but we had to use, mm, mm, mm.
I probably can't tell you how many of these Dottie and I have probably written over the years.
So, yeah. So, basically, there were some documents that had to be provided, and it's just a pass fail. Miss Matthews did provide all of those. And then each section here was given, as I see, and this is listed in RFP, we're going to give experience with New Mexico public education 200 points, accessibility up to 100 points, so on and so forth. And then this was the grand old total. So we all evaluated independently, and then you saw that our overall scores and the average is what we provided, but it was based out of this 1450. I can tell you that I did score, just as an example, I did score Miss Matthews' cost a little bit lower. I didn't give her the 100 points on that because she isn't cheap, but she does it quickly. And so I think overall it's a good cost. But her hourly rate for a regular is a little bit higher than others in the state. Not a whole lot, but a bit higher. I also gave her a lower score on, for example, special education, not because she doesn't know it, but she was quite clear in her application that she would refer special education uh, cases to a different attorney. So I didn't give her a high score for that. Um, anyway, happy to share the individual scores with you all if you'd like, but that's how it was done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. I love that it's now in the board record that we didn't just say, yeah, yay, right? We we really do
Oh,
care,
no,
audience. All
absolutely.
right.
And just because you get one offered, you don't have to take it, right? If it
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
quality. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. If they were not appropriate, then you go out for another RFP, which Dottie and I have probably done more than once in our careers. So,
I'm sure.
yeah, Dottie was more on the state. I was more on the federal level. But I was a purchaser once upon a time for Sandia Labs, and man, you don't. Yeah. So anyway, um, so there it is. We have our one um, RFP respondent, and the score is there. So I would like to move to approve awarding Patricia Matthews LLC the legal services contract for the 2025-2026 school year.
I'll second.
Outstanding. Folks, any other questions or clarifications needed? No? Miss Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call vote to approve the legal services contract that will be forthcoming for Patty Matthews LLC for the 2025-2026 school year?
Yes, sir. Patrick Molina,
Aye.
Heather Anderson,
Aye.
Bill Brown,
Aye.
and Dottie McKinney, aye.
Excellent. Our next agenda item is to go into closed session, although everybody who would be in that closed session is here and I don't see any attendees. We'll keep our eyes open on the attendees so that if we do see somebody pop in, we pause and then move out to a closed session. So we're here. I don't think we need to do a yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt, Patrick. I just got a text from Jan. She will be joining us in the next couple of minutes. So if we do go into a different closed session, we need to make sure she has the link.
Absolutely.
No worries. I
But-
can hang out here if we have to, but at this point,
Okay.
there's nobody else here.
Mm-mm.
So I think once you've taken your vote, I can just pause the recording.
Okay.
Cool. Well, then very good. Then I move to approve that the board enter into closed session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition of a new facility to create a K through 12 campus and related financing as permitted under Section 10-15-1 H8 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. A second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. Ms. Study, would you please conduct a roll call vote to approve the board going into closed session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition of a new facility to create a K-12 campus and related financing as permitted under Section 10-15-1 H8 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act?
Yes, sir. Patrick Molina,
Aye.
Heather Anderson,
Aye.
Bill Brown,
Aye.
and Dottie McKinney, aye.
All right, folks, we're going to pause the recording, I believe, correct? Very good. Thank you so very much. I move to approve the adjournment of our closed session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition of a new facility to create a K-12 campus and related financing as permitted under Section 10-15-1 H8 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. A second, please.
I'll
Oh.
second.
Oh, okay.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Miss Heather.
Dottie.
Perfect. Miss Heather, second. Miss Dottie, would you please conduct a roll call vote to adjourn from our closed session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition of a new facility to create a K-12 campus and related financing as permitted under Section 10-15-1 H8 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act?
Yes, sir. Patrick Molina,
Aye.
Heather Anderson,
Aye.
Bill Brown,
Aye.
Jan Schubert,
Hi, I trust you. I didn't hear it all, but I trust you.
Dottie McKinney, aye.
All right, our closed session is adjourned. We do have a little bit of business coming out of that, so we will entertain a motion.
Before, did we need to note in the minutes that Jan joined us during the closed session?
I
Yes,
did.
during,
Karen
at
did it.
5:49.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So I would make a motion that we approve the resolution. Sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. That we approve the resolution allowing Chairman Molina to sign pending a attorney review of the document, or a final attorney review of the document.
Thank you. A second, please.
Awesome.
Thank you, Ms. Jan. Our motion is placed and seconded. Any further discussion, fellow board members? After we have Patty look at it, I will certainly look at it again and then move along. I believe it requires board chair and secretary to sign, I believe. So we will make it so. Very good. Any further discussion? Thank you for the motion and second. Ms. Dottie, would you conduct a roll call vote to approve the resolution discussed during the closed session with the allowance for the board president to sign post legal review of the document?
Yes, sir. Patrick Molina,
Aye.
Heather Anderson,
Aye.
Bill Brown,
Aye.
Jen Schubert,
Aye.
and Dottie McKinney, aye.
Very good. Thank you all so very much. We need a quick follow-up on our budget situation, Mr. Colander.
Excellent. Actually, the next two are both very quick. So with the passing of that resolution, I do feel that I had shared out that there were some opportunities for those who are not actually intending to collect on the ERB system, who are on our payroll, to adjust some of the pay budget that we have. I think the combination of the items that we've been able to properly allocate outside of operational, the things that are in operational that the reimbursement resolution could help cover, and those kinds of shifts will actually have us not with a cash carryover for next year, but will in essence resolve the budget shortfall that was identified at the last board meeting. She had mentioned, I think Justine had mentioned that we had to resolve a $1.3 million deficit. And just so that the board knows, because we were invited and I participated in a legislative writing session at Cottonwood, not as a person who was writing to the legislators, but as a presenter with a group of charter schools who were all collectively hit by the cuts to House Bill 63, or the at-risk funds. And I did share at that meeting that our budget had taken a $1.1 million hit, and our hold harmless amount was $700. So there is another school had about a $900,000 hit. Their hold harmless amount was $0. So those schools, there's a group of charters that sort of are collectively trying to appeal to the next legislative session to fully fund the hold harmless and get schools their money back. That it was intended to essentially say schools that would lose at-risk money would break even for X amount of time, so that the school could make the appropriate shifts in its budgets and practices to adapt to what would be their new reality. So we should have gotten back most of that 1.1 million in hold harmless funds. We only got back $700. So that is what is creating this particular problem that it came up in the spring, but sort of the overall impact of it is being felt now. So she had reported we need to figure out a $1.3 million shortfall. With the things we were able to move around by the last board meeting, we had whittled that number down to needing to cover, I think I said something between 100,000 to 20,000, something within that range. And I think if with what was passed, as well as the other rest of the adjustments recommended, we should be at the break-even amount. So when we go to talk about the potential for taxable bonds during the purchase of the journal, that will be to further pay down what was an overspending on salaries and benefits. That'll pay that down, because their ultimate goal is to have us with about a $400,000 cash carryover for next year. So that way we always have a little bit in the bank in case something needs to get resolved. That lack of cash carryover is actually why we have a cash flow issue. We have enough money to pay our bills, but we don't have any extra in the bank. So we are, in essence, paycheck to paycheck as a school right now, that we have to wait till we get the money to pay the things that we owe. And we've been keeping up, but all that together, I think, is actually going to create a pretty solid resolution. So I'm going to move forward with some of those contract adjustments. And I think in the end, that'll get us to our break-even amount, so that we're no longer in the red. And then we'll start working on how to climb up into the black.
Love it.
Landscaping requirements. It was just a quick update because we did receive a letter from the city of Albuquerque. Our director of facilities, Ralph Lovato, had been in communication with the city of Albuquerque for the trees that we cut down that needed to be replaced. He was speaking, the person he was working with said, you guys can have some time so that you can evaluate your irrigation system, things like that. We have a plan for all of that, but essentially his supervisor said no more time tell them they're going to need to attend a hearing for not having met the requirements for the tree planting. So we have a quote. It came in about $1,900 to plant 4 sycamore trees that meet the requirements for the city. He said as soon as they receive the notice of what the quote is, along with dates of when it will take place, then we're going to be in the clear. So all of that was resolved this week. And we found a great landscaping company that did really well in terms of the price. We did get a couple of quotes. The first one we had was big enough where I wanted to make sure it was on our agenda for tonight in case numbers inched up and it needed to be something to address with the board. But it actually cut the person we went with ended up cutting that cost down to about a third. So it's going to be under $2,000 to do what we need to do. So
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
Very good. And what is it? 4 trees? 3 trees? How many trees?
4 sycamores. And for those of you who are the arborists in the audience, apparently a 1-inch trunk is $400 cheaper than a 2-inch trunk when you're purchasing a sycamore. So always go for the 1-inch trunk.
Okay. Thank
Potential
you.
of not having a longer lasting life if you do that, but
Oh my gosh.
I mean, sycamores can live for 7,500 years. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just make sure they're getting watered. Wonderful. Thank you for those updates, Mr. Cohen. Nothing to vote on, folks, on either one of those. It was just a heads up on that.
Yep.
Very good. We are moving on to item number 6 of our agenda, board comments. Going once. Going twice. My only board comment is to thank each and every one of you. Thank you so much for making it tonight and for your continued hard work and dedication. Well, having said all of that, I will adjourn this meeting at 6:09. Thank you so very much. I hope to see everyone on November 11th right here, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you all so much for your time and dedication. Have a wonderful evening.